up on the other side. Niggas acting like we tied. I've been gone since like July. Niggas acting like I died. They won't be expecting shit when Capo go to slide. Cause I told them that we put that shit behind us, but I lied. Hey, look who I'm around, man.
What up, Doe? What it is, what it ain't, but it's what you know. It's your boy, Everything Deezy, man, back at it with another video. And today, I'm actually about to drop some real gems and jewels. So y'all might be wondering what hat this is and why am I wearing a brown hat with blue and yellow colors down here, separately dealing with schools. I'm going to be talking about how to go D1 regardless of your size. I'm about to drop real gems right here. This is actually the D1 school that I went to for football, which was Valparaiso University. Yes, I ended up transferring schools, but we're not going to talk about my transferring process and why I did that. Today, we're going to talk about how to get there. But before I talk about how to get there, let me talk about myself. So just to be truthfully real rap raw, on the roster, I'm 5'10", 280 pounds. Now, if you know me, you know doggone well I'm not 5'10". If I'm being truthful, I'm probably about 5'7". But we're not going to talk about that. I'm 5'10", I promise. And you know what I'm saying? And I played defensive tackle. Now, I came from a high school that was big in size, but the recruiting area was actually small. So I'm going to talk to y'all about how to get recruited, where to go to get recruited, how to get connected, and I'm really break it all down in this video. So please like, comment, share, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos, and let's get into it. Let's go, let's get it. So first, the most important thing that you need to get recruited for any sport, regardless of your size, the internet must become your best friend. So when I say the internet needs to become your best friend, one thing that I saw is when you look up something online, right? You see all kinds of, so like let's say you look up an iPhone. You might see one iPhone, but then you see the most updated iPhone, right? But then you might also see other iPhones listed below, other sellers, other vendors just like it. But it's kind of like the same thing when it comes to recruiting. When you look up your name, the first thing you need to do for recruiting is you need to look up your name on Google or Bing or whatever search engine you use and see what pops up. The internet must be able to find you so that way the recruiters can find you. The easier it is to find yourself is the easier it is to be recruited. If the recruiters can't see you, they won't know who you are. And right now in today's society, you actually have to go find the recruiters because now with social media, everybody's going to be sending stuff to recruiters. So you need to make sure that your stuff is right there with them. So when you look up David Mason III football, you can literally see every single thing that I've done in football since my freshman year in football. You might even find some stuff from the 8th grade and 7th grade I even did when I had feature articles, but you want to make sure everything pops up. And how you do that is every time you have something with yourself, make sure that it's published on the internet on a verified site and make sure that you keep clicking on it and clicking on it. That way it becomes more relevant. And also, if you know somebody that does internet cleaning up and how to do that, hook up with them and have them set it up for you. Next, when it comes to websites, you want to make sure that the websites you use, and some are going to be free, some are not free. And I'm going to show you both options. For the not free options, you have things like NCSA and Huddle, depending on whether or not your coach gives it to you for free or not. NCSA is a search engine where it's basically almost like a LinkedIn or a Facebook profile for an athlete. So you put in all your attributes and you put in everything that you're looking for in a school, and it'll literally find the schools for you on NCSA and it'll help you get recruited. If you can't get an NCSA, you can do a be recruited, but you can also just go on Google and just look up schools that you're interested in and then go on websites, various websites, to see if you match up with that school academically, if it's the right fit for you, and also look at other players on rosters to see if you match up. But that's going to be more in depth below. Also, you can create your own website. I created a Weebly website for free. I think the website's still up, www.dm3football.weebly.com. DM3, David Mason III. Those are my initials. And it literally has a format for you. I had YouTube videos. I had my highlight video on there, my ACT and SAT score on there. I had everything laid out so coaches could go and see me and find me as easy as possible. Number two, the most important thing you need to do is have a marketing strategy. You need to market yourself. You need to sell yourself to these recruiters and show them why they should pick you over any other option. Whether you're short, tall, small, or bald, you need to be able to showcase why you're the best of the best, no matter where you come from, no matter your location, and what your size is. So one thing that I like to use for marketing, the best marketing tool right now is social media. You need to have a Twitter. You need to have an Instagram. You need to have any new social media that comes out. But right now, Twitter is the best way to get in contact with coaches. All these coaches have Twitters. Every football program has Twitters. Every single school has a Twitter. Follow those Twitter accounts. Message them with your highlight tapes. When you have your social media, please make sure to keep your social media clean. I've been in recruiting meetings where they actually pulled up a recruit's social media and they showed why they weren't going to let him commit on his offer because he or she had blatant and vulgar words on their social media, highlighted and circled in red. I'm telling you, it is that blunt. I've been there. Seriously. So you need to make sure that your social media is cleaned up, including the things that you like, the things you comment on. All of those things can be seen, found, and tracked and exploited. So make sure your social media is clean and that you're following coaches and you're hitting up coaches on their social media. The next thing that you need to do is you need to look at the schools you fit academically first. You need to look at the schools you fit academically first. And why is that so important? Because schools only get so many scholarships. So therefore, everybody is not going to get a full ride. The best players are going to get the full rides. And you also need to know what schools can give you scholarships. D1 schools can give you scholarships. D2 schools can give full scholarships. NAIA schools can give scholarships. I believe JUCO, some do scholarships, some don't. I believe it's paid. It's kind of iffy when it comes to that. I don't believe there is scholarships. I believe you pay your own way. And then also D3s do not give scholarships. Those are academic scholarships. Is there things you can do to get extra money? Yes, but that is primarily going to be from academia. That's where it's going to come from. So you need to make sure that you find the schools that you fit academically so you can get as much academic merit as you can, because not only is it going to help you be able to have a full chance of getting a full scholarship, but you might actually help your team get other players as well in other positions, because they can split. They can give you half of a full scholarship and give you the rest of it covered in academic and help get another player in your team. So for instance, if you're on defense and you know your defense is going to be stacked, it'll help them get a wide receiver so they can move the ball down the field, and a running back or a quarterback. So that way it can help you out. You dig? So the next thing you want to look at is your highlight tape. So your highlight tape is one of the most key essential parts of being recruited. So let's go over the guidelines of a highlight tape. If you've gone to camps, you probably heard this. And if you haven't heard it, you're going to hear it now. So first thing about a highlight tape, no more than 5 to 6 minutes if it's a full season highlight tape, and no more than 2 to 3 minutes if it's a half a season highlight tape. And after each game, if possible, if you really like that, you should have a highlight reel after each game. How can you set that up? Majority of sports use huddle. If you have a team sport, they have huddle. If they don't have huddle, you need to find somebody with the camera that can record your footage so that way you can edit your own stuff. And I'm going to show you how to edit that stuff and go through that whole thing. So when you go on huddle, you literally just click the star and there's a create highlight button, and you literally go in there and you can select and cut the plays. each play in order to make your highlight tape go from 15 minutes to 5 minutes for full season. You need to make sure that you actually trim the play down to when you first start the play or the end of the play, or if it's a tackle play, you trim it to right before you make the tackle. You make sure you highlight yourself on there with the circle bubble thing to make sure that you actually showcase yourself in the correct way. That way you can make sure you're saving time. So the more you can constrict the play to where it just showcases what you did on the field, the more plays you can put in. Secondly, about the highlight tape, in the first minute, it needs to be all bangers. Your first minute is the most important minute. In fact, the first 15 seconds is really make or break, because there's so much stuff that coaches are getting every single day. I mean, just think about how many high school athletes are in your sport in the nation. All of them probably have somewhat of a dream to play at the next level. But guess what? Only like 3% probably make it. And depending on the sport, probably less than that. So if you want to be part of that percentage that goes on from high school to collegiate athletics or any athletic at the next level, you need to make sure that your first 15 seconds to minute is straight bangers, and your contact information needs to be in it. And the third thing about the highlight tape is you want to showcase what the coaches are looking for. If you are playing basketball, you need to, and you're a guard, you need to show your mid-range, your free throws, you need to showcase your dribbling, you need to showcase all of the skills that make you a great point guard, your passing, everything, right? If you're a football player and you're a running back, you want to showcase your vision. You want to showcase your long runs. You want to showcase everything. If you're a defensive tackle, you want to showcase your sacks, showcase if you get a fumble, if you pick off a screen, whatever. If you play soccer, show the goals, show your vision, so that you know the game, show that you don't get any cards, show all of that stuff, showcase the speed. Whatever sport you play, showcase your specific talent. I'm telling you right now, it'll make or break you. Next. The next tip I will give you is recruit the schools. Don't get recruited. Now, this probably does not make sense when I say this. What do you mean, Deezy, when you say recruit the schools, don't get recruited? What I mean is, just because they're recruiting you doesn't mean you can't recruit them. Just how they're picking you as an athlete, you want to pick them as a school, because the school is going to use you for your athletic ability to make revenue and generate revenue. You need to make sure that you're picking the school that's going to set you up for your life. So you also want to showcase like, hey, what do you have to offer me to put me in the best situation post athletics in my life, and also for going into job fields, going into my academic career, that I'll have at the school, or also just life in general on campus at your school. What can you do for me? One thing that coaches do is they like to hand you a card. You can see right here, I have my own business card. I printed off my own business card. How'd I do it? You can go right on Google Docs, or you can use Word, and you can literally find a template that has the cards. And I literally made a card with my name, my high school, the year I was, my positions that I played, my location, my phone contact number, and a website link to my personal website that I made, as well as my huddle. And it had a picture of me as well. So coaches, remember that. That's something that I did that I've never seen anybody else do. I sold myself. I didn't sell myself, but I marketed myself basically to showcase like, hey, you're giving me a business card, I'm giving you a card. And best believe they're going to remember that. Trust me. Nobody else is talking about that. I've never seen nobody else do it since I did it. And when I was doing it, no one else did it. Trust me. And I got where I wanted to go. I went D1. Trust me. The next thing I want to say, and probably the last thing I put on here, is make sure you have the proper camp selectivity. Do not go to a camp if there are no coaches. I repeat, do not go to a camp if there are no coaches. Now, it's different if you go somewhere and you're training and it's just a whole bunch of people training and it's a showcase and you just want to go and showcase your skills and get in some off-season competition. I understand that, but I would not waste all of your money on that. 7-on-7s. If there are coaches that are going to be there and there are recruits that are there, people do get offers on football for 7-on-7s. I don't know about all the other sports and how they work. I know there's 3-on-3 basketball. I know there's all kinds of stuff for basketball showcases. I know tennis, a little bit of tennis. My sister's a Division II college tennis player, full scholarship, by the way. So, like I said, there's all kinds of There's all kinds of different ways that you can go about the process, but you need to make sure that the camps that you go to, coaches are going to be there. Tip number 2, go to camps where there are multiple coaches. Now, camps do cost money. It is an investment. So that's why you need to make sure that your investment is going to pay off. Go to camps where there's going to be not only multiple coaches there from multiple different schools, but also multiple different levels. So one of the camps that I went to that I would suggest is Sound Mind, Sound Body. Is it a satellite camp? Yes, it's a satellite camp. Yes, there's a lot of kids there, but there were schools from D1A, D1AA, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO. From every single level on the spectrum down, everybody was there. There's pro coaches there. The year I went, Jerome Bettis was there. I mean, there's all kinds of people that you can meet. Former players came back and give back. So I was working with college players and players that are even in the pros now. There's actually a couple pros that was there. One of my best friends that I know growing up as a pro, he was there. I went with him. You know, a lot of my friends that played college football with me that went to my high school or high school surrounding were there. So it's good atmospheres to go to. But to get the best bang for your buck, make sure that there's college coaches there. And number 3, make sure that you go to a camp and you never go to a camp unannounced. So when you go to the camp, make sure on social media that you announce that you're going to that camp at least 3 days to a week out in advance. And make sure you tag all the coaches. So at Coach so-and-so at Alabama, at Coach so-and-so at Texas, at Coach so-and-so at Michigan, Minnesota, whatever their ad is, like at so-and-so, I will be at the camp, and make sure the people that you at are coaches that are going to be at the camp, because they might not necessarily be head coaches, but they might be recruiting coaches, recruiting coordinators, running back, tight end, DB, or whatever position coach or whatever sport you play. So those are the main things. And last but not least, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Have all your information on you. If a coach asks you what your ACT score was, 28, 12, 60, SAT. Have both of them. Take both. If you want to play sports out of state, some schools do ACC, some schools do ACT. Have both. Make sure you got your NCAA eligibility center number located. Have all of your documentation, physicals. Be ready to answer questions. The more, of course your size is going to help you get into certain schools, but would you rather have someone with size or someone who's prepared for everything? If you're prepared for everything, you will get your opportunity at the school you want to go to. But that is how you go D1 regardless of size. You follow those steps, I can't guarantee it, but I guarantee you this, you will get a shot. So stay ready, make sure you're training, go hard, and take those steps, and I promise you, you will get to pay dirt. But all right, y'all, that's enough for this video. Please make sure y'all like, comment, share, hit the subscribe and notification button. What up, Doe? It's what it is what it ain't, but it's what you know. It's Everything Deezy, man. Peace, blessings, and go get that bag.